Okay. Okay, we're right to go? All right, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for your attendance via Zoom and also in your physical attendance here in the chamber. So I'd like to declare this infrastructure meeting open for September 14th, 2021. This meeting is being audio recorded and those in attendance should refrain from making any defamatory statements. There are to be no other recordings of this meeting without the prior authorisation of the committee. The applications of attending the meeting via video link has been relinquished for these times. Are there any apologies?
Mr. Chair, there's an apology from Councillor Driscoll for this meeting.
Okay, I would like to also make mention, and I'm sure the not only the Shire but also this committee extend their condolences to Councillor Driscoll, especially at the passing of her husband, John, which an untimely death. But I'd like that recorded, please. So do we have a move and a second for the apologies, please?
Move.
Seconded. From the chair. Okay, all those in favour, please say aye. As against, I think the ayes have it. Point 3, declarations of interest. Do we have any declarations of interest?
There's been none submitted yet, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to...
sorry, Mr. Chair. I have a standing one with my Movie Road connection.
Do we have that's been recorded or is it?
It's been recorded in past meetings, I believe, because Councillor Abbott is a resident of that area.
Yes.
Yes.
We all happy with that explanation? I believe so. Okay. Public participation. Is there any public participation?
No, nil.
No. Okay. So let's move then on to the business items. And the first one is ISC 9.1, the Works Program, Infrastructure Services, Water and Sewer. Philip, via Zoom, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I trust you can hear me okay. I'll assume that's a yes. Okay, so starting off with our KPIs. So we're off track on these, but not by a terrible amount in terms of complaints. And with a percentage of effluent recycled, our year-to-date's lower than what the last month was. So we had that period over winter where we weren't recycling much. The last month gone, we recycled 90%. And then as we move into summer, we should get that back up again to 100%, which is where we want to be. Key activities, fluoridation. So just for the committee's information, fluoridation will be part of the treatment upgrade that we're going to do in Scone. New South Wales Health will gazette the approval for us to fluoridate the water supply in Yarendai, Scone and Aberdeen probably at the end of this month. And that's based on a resolution of council all the way back in 2014. But with that resolution, they can do that, and then we'll have the approval to add fluoride as part of that project. And obviously it's those 3 centres, because those 3 centres could be supplied from Glenbourne and where the fluoride unit's going to be located. With the COVID series surveillance program, so to date, no detection of COVID in the sewer in Scone. We would have had another test yesterday. We may or may not have got the result from that yet, but as yet we haven't heard anything, which is usually an indicator of good news. Merriwa STP, so we've had a history of licensed non-conformances at that plant. It's been ongoing for many years, and we're in constant sort of contact and liaison with the EPA in regards to that. And we currently have a pollution reduction program with our current license, with some actions on that which we've completed, and I guess we're moving into the next step to come up with a new plan to address the issues at that plant. So the EPA have written to us following their recent inspections from this year and last year. We've written back to them yesterday. The outcome of that will probably be a meeting with the EPA a discussion and a plan on how to improve that plant. And that will likely be another update to our license. So that'll then be written in the license of what we need to do to make sure that we get that plant compliant.
Just interrupting there, Phil, would
Sure.
that then, the recommendations by the EPA, would that be available to this committee?
Yes, yeah, definitely. The outcome of that process will be anything on the license. The license is public.
Right.
So that would be public anyway. And then whatever we need to do, whatever impact there is in terms of capital improvement will obviously come back by this committee as well.
Okay.
Most likely the very next thing we aim to do will be desludging the ponds there, which we've put off for a little bit because it's a very expensive maintenance item. But we have to get on and do it. And that could be in the vicinity of $500,000 to do that task.
Really?
Based on previous quotes, yeah.
Well, what's the real answer to it? Is the facility not large enough for the amount of the volume, or what's the answer to it?
There's no issue with the capacity. It's definitely not over capacity, but we have issues with land area. It can be easier to deal with the effluent at the other end if we had space to do reuse. I guess similar to what we're proposing at Kpis, but we have an area where we can irrigate. At the moment, that plant discharges. It's an overland flow, but it does discharge into the river. And it's years of accumulation of sludge in those ponds, and generally they need some remediation work. There's also some difficulties with the arrangement because it goes on that overland path through private property, and a lot of that's historical arrangement that also needs improvement and sort of brought up to something that's more official, a proper agreement with that property owner, proper easements. These are the things we've got to sort out to reduce risk.
Okay, thank you.
Onto the Kpis sewer scheme. So we're at the 95% mark for detailed design. Remaining items are a couple of details with the effluent reuse end of the project, and also the electrical design work which they need to supply us. We have engaged Mullane, who got the contract for the water main renewal tender, to do a QS on the retic for that project. So they've got the 95 design with them, which will be all they'll need to do a QS on that component in the pump station. We'll also get a QS done on the STPN, which is the oxidization ponds. And that'll give us an accurate construction cost estimate, which we'll bring probably straight to council in October.
Well, that would be very well received, probably not the cost of it, but however the matter that can be brought to them, and is also going to the people of Kpis and telling them where we are. So,
Definitely.
Yeah, thank you. Do we have any questions or comments on Phil's report? Well, I'll ask for a mover and a seconder, please. Moved, Councillor Abbott. Seconded, our Mayor. All those in favour, please say aye. Those against, I think the ayes have it. It's been very remiss of me, and I apologise to our new Director of Infrastructure, Karen. Welcome to our infrastructure committees, and also as your directorship. We look forward to being able to work with you, and we think we've got a pretty good committee, and I just welcome you to this committee, and also to the Shire. So enjoy our Shire; it is good. Okay, thank you
very much, Mr. Chair.
Okay, if you'd like to turn the page now to page 7, ISC 09.2, the Works Program Infrastructure. I notice your name up here, Karen, which is really good. Now, Sam, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chair. So basically the same format as Bill. We've got our KPIs. If you want to, there's obviously a couple here that flag red. But I think predominantly we're pretty much on track. Some of these will fluctuate a bit throughout the year. We have some under and overs, but I'm confident at this point in time that we're on track with those. I guess if there's any questions on those, I'm happy to give some more detail.
I just have one on the swimming pools. Have the maintenance on the pools, the 3 pools, been able to be carried out?
Through the chair, currently the maintenance program is underway.
Right.
The pools have been cleaned, new water, fresh water put in them. We're currently working with the new contractor to have them ready for opening on the 1st of October. So whilst we have a list of maintenance activities, yes, we are working through that list.
Okay, yeah, I just that I'm mainly speaking to Merriwa now, but I know the other pools needed some attention. The actually dosing of the equipment that were to put in the various additives into the pool, has that been addressed at Merriwa?
We're currently getting quotes.
Right, okay, yeah, so it's in hand, that's what I need to know.
Yep.
Okay. The resheeting program, as I say, I travelled the Dales Creek Road and noted that there was quite a bit of gravel that gone on, which has been very pleasing. I'm not exactly sure just how much more of an upgrade can be done there, but I would really like, whether it's in the reports in the future, that you can tell us how much gravel was used and was put on each road. Is that possible?
Yeah.
Infrastructure, Karen, could you?
Councillor Campbell, you did ask that question at the last meeting and we have responded to that in the
Yes.
questions. So we'll be happy to look into doing that. I can't make any promises at this time because obviously we want to ensure that we give you accurate data.
Yeah, that's right. But it couldn't be straight away because you've only just finished the road. So therefore it'd be the following. But I just think it's very good to, when asked how much gravel was put on there, that we were able to give them a proper response. So that I look forward to that.
Okay, thank you.
Sam, you've still got your light on, which is good. So you must be going to give me an answer.
Whilst I don't have the exact figures, yeah, like Karen said, we can get you that data. The resheeting program is not too hard to give you quantities for that, because there's a set profile that we use for the distance.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd also like to add that it was very pleasing to see the pipes go in at the junction of Dales Creek and Car Springs Road. And it's, I was told by the contractor as I drove past, and that the concrete pour for the head walls is going on tomorrow. But also as I travelled from the road from on Bunnan Road, Car Springs to the bridge, commend you too on the width of the road and the compaction and that sort of thing it takes. I just think that that's going to be really good and should take the traffic that we're envisaging anyway. So it looks really good, Sam. Well done.
Thank you, Chair.
Do we have any questions or comments on that report, the report of ISC 9.2? That's over the page. Oh, here it is too, Sam. How could I miss out on that? Okay, let's turn over to page 14. Sam, I do notice that there is some graders doing the maintenance grade out in our western area. Are those graders going to be able to stay there for that western area? I think there's 2 or 3. There's only 2 there, and I think you've got a contractor on, haven't you?
Through the chair, so there's currently 4 graders in that area.
Right.
There's a contractor doing the resheeting program. We've got another grader doing our heavy patch program. We've got our 3rd grader doing maintenance grading,
Right.
And then there's a fourth grader doing shoulder repairs and / maintenance grading. That will continue for the next month. However, we
Right.
have to monitor our budget as time progresses.
Okay. Yeah, Sam, we're back, I think the Mayor and I have talked, not about this particular time, but just some of the drainage issues on some of the roads that that's probably the only thing that I could possibly say about the Dales Creek Road. There's a couple of areas that really would have been good if they would have put the blade down the side and made more of a channel on the side of the road, a little bit flat. But on some of the other roads, yeah, if it comes to a pipe or something, we need to clean those out. I mean, I still think it could be done with the grader, but I'm not. Is that possible?
Through the chair, at the moment it's not. We had
Right.
the issue with Dales Creek Road being too wet. And as soon as the grade goes off the road, it just makes a mess, basically.
Yeah.
You know, big wheel tracks, ruts through the table drains. So, yeah, we have to be a little bit mindful of that. Given that it's going to be a wet season, wet spring, they tell us, we're that's going to be a challenge for us to maintain that dreinage.
It has been noted that I know that some of the gradings out there that the operator has been endeavouring strongly to try and keep the gravel on the road, which is good. It's very difficult because there's very little there left there. And I did notice with the small amount of rain that we had that it because of the thin layer of gravel that it sort of cuts up a little bit too, which is disappointing because it's not just common to that area anyway. In other words, the gravel's not there. That's the issue.
Correct, and that's why we sort of put the additional money into the program this year to sort of try catch some of that gravel resheeting up.
All right, it'll be good when we get those details of the amount of gravel put on. Anyway, look, we turn over to page 14, which is 1 of 5. Any comment or questions regarding that page? There being no further, we'll do the same. We'll turn over to page 2, which is page 15 of 46. And do we have any questions or comments on those roads? The first section was all in the western area, then we've got the Yarendai in different colour, which is really good. I think we could turn to page 3 because it's all on the same colouring, the same section of roads. There's been no comment. Let's go over to page 4, which is page 17 of 46 in the blue, the Scone area. Sam, how are we going with the Middlebrook Road? It was very badly potholed there through the tar. What remedial works can be done there?
Chair, we've just done some pothole patching through there at this stage. Yeah.
Righto, okay. I did, this is going back to the MR 358, the roads from 20 kilometres north to 21, that there was quite a deal of the breakup of the tar seal there. In that area, it wasn't just individual little potholes, it was quite larger areas. I'm wondering whether if someone's out there that might just have a look of what can or cannot be done. It's on a section of road that has caused difficulty before. It's just before you cross a creek.
Yeah,
so
Chair, I do know the section that you're talking about, and they're more than a pothole, they're a heavy patch.
Yeah,
So.
they're big patches, yeah. Anyway, back over to, you're aware of it, if you have a look and inspect them, please. And back to page 4. And also page 5, that's to do with the Scone area. Do we have any questions or comments? on those roads? If not, keep turning. Page 1 of, which is page 19, on page 1 to the Upper Hunter Shire Council Resheeting Program. This would be good if we just had the, 20 tonne or whatever amount of road. Anyway,
Just Mr. Chair, team, this is great. I mean, we're back to where we were some years ago with this grading program, the reshooting program. How simple it is to answer ratepayers' questions.
Yeah.
Mightn't always be true to date, weather, but it's great. Well done.
yeah. Look, I agree with those comments and the way in which it's presented. At least it gives us something that we can answer questions, and also people can see. They're public documents, so if they wish to look at that. Otherwise, it gives us as councillors the answer that probably we need to have. All right, are we all finished? We don't have any questions on that area. Which were we up to? What's it called? ISC 9.2. Yeah. Could I have a mover and a seconder, please? Move, Councillor Collison, seconded. Olg seconded. All those in favour, please say aye. Those against, I think the ayes have it. I'd like to turn over to page 20, ISC 9.3, Strategic and Capital Works Update. Karen, you have the floor.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
Mr. Chair. So obviously the purpose of this report is to update on capital works projects within the current financial year budgetary period. So if we go through this, you can see that as part of the DPOT, the Delivery Programme and Operation Programme, the schedule of the planned works has been prepared. You can see here that we're stating the original budget was 64.76 million. The revised budget was 64.925287. And year to date, we're at 894,435. And the year to date actual, we've surpassed that. So we've spent slightly more than intended, which I'm sure you'll agree in the first quarter is appropriate. And we can see that we're 115.99% of actual works completed in the revised year to date budget. And for the full year budget, we're only at 1.6%. So we've got some work to do there, but we are actually past our target for this time of year. Do you have any questions on that?
Well, we can turn over these out to page 26 if you like.
Yeah.
1 to 8 on this page 26. Do we just give you time to read them? I like to see some of those complete, which is good. Sam, just on point 8, the Merriwar Drive Reviver, I don't think it's still open yet, but there was some electrical work or something extra to be done in there. Was that correct?
Works have been programmed, so I think the electrical fit out's been completed, but I can confirm that for you.
Right, okay.
The other activity that's got to be done there is the installation of the benches. So that's happening this week.
Right.
Beyond that, I think we're pretty close.
Do you think it'll be open for the long weekend in October?
Oh, I'd have to confirm.
Yeah, it would be good. It'd be also good because if we could make sure it's worked, it's a good facility, and also it's kind of close to the toilets and lots of things. All those things are overcome. So if we could just try and make sure that that's going to happen. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Turn over the page to 27 of 47, 9 down to point 16, reference down to 16. comments or questions on that page? If you'd like to turn over to page 28. I was through Cashless probably a week ago and noted I went and had a look at the toilet block, etc. There's a couple of things there, wasn't quite finished there. Could you fill us in on that, please, Sam?
So the playground, it's due for construction now. However, we're having a few issues getting contractors in from out of our local LGA. Beyond that, I think we're on top of most of it out there.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
The playground equipment, was there any has it been decided that what equipment will go in, or is there any consultation regarding that?
No, there was consultation.
Yes.
It's been ordered, and we're just waiting on installation.
So that would have been done with the cashless community, what are they called, district development?
That's correct.
Right. Oh, that's good. That's really good. Yeah. Look, it looked really good, and I think it's going to be a great asset to cashless, and also the footpath that comes out to the toilet block, and then it links up with the playground equipment. That's all really good stuff. Yeah. Okay. With the rehabilitation and also the road on from out in the Sophia Creek to Kewan Shearing Shed and that sort of thing, I note that you've got done a lot of the tree works and got all that sort of thing done. Massive big stump that was pulled out. How'd you do that? Not with the excavator.
Through the chair, yes, it was done with an excavator.
Is that right?
Yep.
Geez, you did well. It's a whopper, that one.
Mm.
Yeah, okay. Very good. Anyway, so that will be just continuing.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. So tree clearings, 90% done with the stumps to be removed. We'll start drainage works this week, and then the works will just flow on from there. Yep. We'll be out there until the road's completed.
I think it'll be very well received when it's done, I can assure you. Yes. Okay, so we'd like to finish with that page 28. We'll turn over. Page 29. I think reference point 28, I think that will be very well received by those people living out in that area. Very much so. It's something that's been...
a bit more money yet, Mr.
Well, it's a start. Yeah, we do need more money to do it because that's a big project. More funding is required. I didn't want to hear that before construction can commence. So where are we up to with that? It's just getting it designed, Mr. Mayor. Jim, can you tell me, or Sam? Jeff, okay. We'd like to turn your phone on, please.
Hunter Road.
Yes.
Yeah, it's up to, I believe, 75% design. That's with both Moon and Brook Road and Hunter Road between Yarendai and Glenmore Bridge. They're both up to that stage, 75.
So the funds that we've got for that, how much more will we require?
There's 2.1 mil.
Yes.
Yes, Moon and Brook Road, we've have the funds for that. Fully funded through the grant plus our R2R funding. Moon and Brook grant, Hunter Road, we're still seeking further funds through fixing country roads or fixing local road programs. Estimated cost is upwards of 5.5 mil. We're guaranteed 2, so I think our last application was 3.5 million.
Okay.
Those applications are in there being considered.
Right. All right. All right. Any comments or questions on that page? We'll turn over to page 30, reference 30 to 34. I think this may have been you were speaking here, the Barrington Tops Forest Road. Additional funds need to be secured So how are we going with that? Is it designed or is it, can you just fill us in on the details, please?
Well, Barrington Forest Road Council were successful in getting being awarded $4.7 million for stage 1 of Barrington Forest Road. An estimated cost there is upwards of 6 mil. So we're seeking 1.3 million balance. Once again, those applications are in for stage 1 and stage 2 and stage 3 of complete sealing of the Barrington Forest Road. Survey, they're currently up there surveying, but they're on the ground surveying. So they're putting in control points right through the 11 kilometres. And we're having difficulty having LiDAR survey carried out at the moment because they can't get access to the drones and stuff to fly. But that's with the contractors, Multi Powers, who are organising that, and it should be done hopefully within the next month.
So
Once that survey is complete, then it'll go out to tender the design of Barrington Forest Road is all going out to tender the whole 11 kilometres.
When is the well, if we get the extra funding, when's the likely finish date?
Well, the funding for the first stage of Barrington Forest Road is 2023, 2023. I'll double check that, but 2023. If it's 2022, we'll definitely have to ask for an extension. Because we need to complete the design then call tenders.
So is the road is closed now?
No, it was we can
I don't know. I haven't been up there, so I'm asking.
Barrington Forest Road's never been closed. It's you can go right to the Dingo Gate, through the Dingo Gate, back down to Pheasants Creek Road, and if you go enough, you can go to Gloucester.
So the section within the national park is still closed, Mr. Chair, but the road that we're responsible for, which is from Moon and Brook Road up to the Dingo Gate, fully open and still continues to provide access to Barrington Tops.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Any further comment on reference 30 to 34? If not, we'll turn the page. Page 31, reference 35 to 41. Just on 41, the movie resident high pressure problem. Is anything any result on that other than just it being sent out to the movie residents?
Through the chair, not beyond that, apart from I think I mentioned it before, that one of the first things we need to do to facilitate the high pressure zone and any potential rural retic in Moombi is to put some pipe work in along Moombi Road, and that's within the scope of work of that tender that's just been let out to Mullane.
Okay, thank you. Page 20. Okay, do we have any further comments or discussion? Is there any other further pages? That's 33. All right, can I have a mover and a seconder, please?
Move.
Seconded, Councillor Abbott. All those in favour, please say aye. Those against, I think the ayes have it. Now, if you'd like to turn over to page 32, ISC 09.4 MR358 Willow Tree Road upgrade. Gavin, is Gavin here? Is not here. Who is he on
The author is absent on site.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's out there.
All right. Karen, are you going to fill in?
I shall fill in.
Thank you. Please do.
So for the chair and the committee's information, Gavin is obviously the project manager. He is indeed on site, which indicates to us that remediation works have commenced. So this is Coulson's Creek Road, MR358, the rehab project, detailing works undertaken during August of 21 onwards, and for the current month of September. So as we all know, we undertook the construction of the Merriwar to Willow Tree Road at Colston's Creek, also known as MR358, in December 2019. There was cracking found. I won't read from the page, everyone's aware of what went on. And we'll go down to GHD, Detailed Design and Construct Rehabilitation. So they previously provided the list of reports that you see here on page 32, listed 1 to 8. If you turn over to page 33, you'll see number 8 there as well. So the PCG did meet on the 16th of August to determine the preferred options for the detailed design. And the decision was made to progress to a detailed design with option 3. And as you can see, the remediation earthworks and early works have now actually begun. They were planned to commence yesterday, the 13th of September, and they did indeed commence. So site has been established and works have begun. GHD then went on to provide a detailed design of construction rehab. They used a geotechnical scope of works for further investigations, and they provided very rough cost estimates. According to them, it ranges from 20 to 30 million. These are preliminary estimates with a large amount of unknowns, risks and contingencies built in. As the design progresses, we will have refined costs, but please just be aware that they are preliminary. Key activities over the next few months. Well, we've spoke about the remediation earthworks, and we've obviously got a PCG meeting scheduled in September for the 20th. And we have additional geotechnical investigations programmed. I will state that our geotechs are on site for the current works. They are there and overseeing them together with the project manager. The geotech will be investigating options for telecommunications, water resources, accommodation and bushfire requirements. And then emerging issues that have been identified are additional investigations required for detailed design. As previously mentioned, we don't have a detailed design, hence the cost estimates being rough. There's also stockpile site cleanup locations. Any questions?
Thank you. The stockpile cleanup, and that was that had been. I think they were going to use a particular area. Has that been decided?
Yeah, that's the area, land LLS area down the bottom, the old travelling stock reserve. Just
Yeah,
500
where you had the other stockpile.
Yeah, 500 metres this side of the concrete causeway. Merriwar side of the concrete causeway.
Yeah, okay.
We've signed a lease agreement on that, no cost, minimal cost.
Okay, no, that's very good. Well, and I think I heard you say that the works have started as of today, wasn't it? Or
yesterday. The site was established,
right,
and the works are looking extremely good. We had some pictures through yesterday from Gavin on site, and the works are progressing. And it's only been 2 days, so we can't give you a full update,
no,
but we'll
fine.
keep you posted.
Yeah, we'll look forward to the persuasive attributes of our mayor as he travels to gain some of the $20 to $30 million we could perhaps do with $27.5 million. Perhaps our director Yarendai should accompany so that he can try and persuade as well. Yes. Anyway, look, I'm glad you didn't keep reading things. We all know what's happened, but the point is things are happening that we're getting the road. It's progressing the road to rehabilitate, getting it open, and that's something that I'm very, very keen because I'm out in that area, but also I think it's going to be a great boon to our shire and continuing the amount of produce and livestock that will use that road. So that's very good. So do we have any questions or comments on ISC 9.4?
Just one, and that is the work we're doing now drives the final design. So this has to happen. We have to find a solid base. So the results from this will drive the design from here on in, and hopefully we'll come up and whatever that design will stick to the side of that hill.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a very important point, and I'd like to make sure that that's included in this meeting. The fact that what's happening now is just not a patch up; it's something that has to happen and will be part of the rehabilitation of the roadway. So, yeah, okay. All right, we have a mover and a seconder, please. ISC 9.4. I'm happy to move that from the chair. A seconder, please. Councillor Rabbit, thank you. Any, all those in favour, please say aye. Those against, I think the ayes have it. Thank you for that. And also thank you for the work that's of our staff that have gone into making this, at least it's a start. That's one of the most important things I think that we've achieved. It's not finished, but it's started, and that's just great. So I'd like to turn over to page 39, ISC 9.5, answer to councillors' questions. Nat, you were the author. Well, I'll put it over to Karen. That might be more fair, mightn't it? Yeah, okay. Yeah, look, I think I asked this question earlier there with the first question regarding the leakage of the swimming pools. Sam, you're aware, and you're dealing with that matter. Is that right?
Chair, yes, we've well, let's hope we've identified a leak in the pool. We've actioned it, so we just need a little bit of time to see whether that action has actually corrected the defect that we found.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. I'm happy with that comment. Turn over to page 40. I just have one. I've dealt with question 2, which we've dealt with a little earlier in the meeting. A concern that I've had, and I brought this up before, it's regarding the grading program, that sometimes I believe that when, it doesn't matter which road it is, that if there's a load of gravel, you put it on after they've graded it, or say that it should be before, so that it's incorporated. I'm just wondering whether I have it round the wrong way, or is that exactly what happens?
Chair, if there's a load of tool gravel required while they're grading it, they do it during the process. So if there's a low spot picked up and we've got a sufficient budget to allocate to that road, that's what we do.
Yeah, it just seemed to be a little bit round the other way, but maybe I'm not seeing it until later on. So yeah, as long as we're mindful of that, I think we.
Sorry, yeah. Chair, if you're referring to the gravel resheeting, we actually go through and form the road up before we put the layer of gravel over. Yeah. So yeah, you may see that the maintenance crew have been through before the gravel goes on, but that's so that we get our formation right.
Yeah, I'm just concerned that you've got to bring back material, bring back not only material but also the equipment. That's all I'm just saying. Yeah. Anyway,
so for spot patching, we do it on the run as we come across it.
Right.
Gravel resheeting is done. We do a maintenance grade and form it up, and then we come back and do the overlay, the resheet.
Yeah, they're two separate things. Yeah. Correct. Okay. All right. I'm happy with the questions. Councillor Rabbit, have you read the questions and answers? Are you happy with those?
Yes, I'm happy with the answers. Thank you.
All right. Councillor Collison?
Thank you. Happy.
Okay. All right. We need then to have a mover and a second of the answering of the questions. Someone said no.
Move.
Seconded, please. I'll second it. All those in favour, please say aye. Those against, I think the ayes have it. Do we have any councillor questions?
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, Councillor Rabbit.
Thank you. First up, I really like the booklet and the way the papers have come today. That's a comment. Thank you. And a second, could I please have a copy of the Depop, the finished Depop? I have asked for this before, but if I could just ask again and get one at some stage. And also my last question, is when will the results of the Office of Local Government investigation be supplied to council? Or the findings, I should say, the findings.
Through you, Mr. Chair, to Councillor Abbott. Thanks for the feedback on the papers. It's encouraging that they're working for you, but as I've said to all councillors, if you've got any questions on the new format or you want to see anything changed, by all means, let us know. We're trying to provide as much information as we can to you, and we'll take on board some of the comments that the Chair has also made about gravel volumes, and we'll try and include that as well.
Thank you.
In regard to your question on the Depop, yes, I'll get you a copy of that, Councillor Abbott.
Thank you.
I think they've just been held up with all the COVID issues, having a problem actually printing out some of the hard copies, but we'll get you a copy.
Thank you.
In regard to the OLG investigation, as you know, we've provided all the information to them and we're waiting for them to respond. We've reached out to them on a number of occasions. They have given us dates that have come and gone in regard to their response to us. Our most recent comment to them was, would they be willing to come and give a presentation to councillors on their findings, because we think that's the best way of bringing this to a head, because they haven't actually released anything at this stage. We're waiting to hear back from that, but if they're willing to, we'll organise a Zoom meeting so that they can physically address each of the councillors in a single meeting and give you feedback from their investigation. We're still waiting on that feedback though.
Thank you for that. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Councillor Collison. You have none? Okay, I have some questions. The Venica Street lighting solar, I really wonder how far have we gone with getting solar there? Because we don't have to lighten up to light up the Sydney Harbour Bridge, but for those two crossings, I'm just wondering, with modern technology, is that possible and done with solar? Because we don't have to have a whole roof of solar panels with the way in which they're going today. Could that be progressed, please?
Chair, yes, it has been progressed. We have got quotes. However, we've just got to do a little bit more research on the level of lighting required.
Right, yeah. It has to be certain looms.
Correct.
Yes, that's right, yeah. I also asked regarding the VRA headquarters from GM, and I think you replied that you have signed a letter of request to whichever has happened. So is that correct? We could confirm that, please?
Yes, we've signed a letter of support for their application for grant funding.
Right, that's great. Yes, yeah. That just needs to be noted, because that's still quite an issue within the Merriwar VRA, etc. And I knew that was coming. Okay, now the vehicle count on Yarendai Road, was that ever taken, or was it there? It was taken. How many do we have a day? Really?
Really? I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, I can't hear the other person.
Yeah, sorry.
No, I'll get those results forwarded
Okay.
straight to you. I
That'd
think,
be good.
and the mayor. But from memory, they haven't changed a great deal over the last 5 years, which is expected. Traffic counts are not usually taken. It's an up-to-date traffic count is in anywhere between 5 and 10 years.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Correct me if I'm wrong, Jeff. I think we found that there wasn't any significant difference with the traffic count from the road having just been graded. And
so true. That's correct.
Yeah.
Anyway, will you be providing those details to the councils, or will it come through to?
We'll just forward them to the
look, that'd be very
councillors
helpful.
through an
Thank you.
email.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. I've mentioned the road breaking up between 20 and 21 kilometres on MR358, just before the middle, is it the Gumman Road, I think it is. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, you're aware of it, so it needs to be quite looked at. Yeah. There are some other areas which you may be aware of. That's on the Bunnan Road, which especially out of Merriwar. some of the potholes in the tar, you have repaired some, but they seem to be breaking up a bit too. It's not only common to that section, there's other sections as well. Yeah. Okay. All right. Any other further questions or comments? I'd just like to say thank you to everyone for their comments and their advices, and also Karen, thank you very much for being part of our committee meeting. We're looking forward to a lot more too. Okay, I'll declare the meeting closed. Oh, hang on. Well, where's that?
We have done the CapEx report. That's an additional issue.
Yeah. I thought we had. Yeah. Okay. All right. Anything else? Have I forgotten? It is possible. However, okay, I'll declare the meeting closed. Thank you very much, and thank you for your assistance too, Nat.